Welcome back to Ranked. So this is our first match against Xlite here. This was very interesting to me because I was gold, ready to rank up to gold, and my opponent they give me as a bronze player. I always find that weird about the ranking system in this game. Turn 1 duress off a black land, so this is potentially some kind of budget, mono black discard, maybe. They're taking their time, so it's pretty obvious that the best choice here is, yeah, the Vanishing Verse, depending on their threats. Since we can't cast a Bring to Light currently unless we draw green and blue. Biotech works well for efficient. Okay, a vehicle. Sacrifice. How interesting. So I have no idea what this deck is, so I'm going to use Deceit here to do basically a pseudo Fortsies. And it looks like some kind of Jund... No, wait, just straight up Jund Vehicles deck. So I was super confused when this launched. I was just reading all the stuff here. And then I see Last Ride and I'm like, okay, is this a Jund Death Shadow kind of list? Seeing that they have essentially a threaten effect, I've decided I'm not going to run out the Valky here. We're going to play slow. Opponent is flooding, so they're having the reverse of us. They're drawing tons of land. We're being punished with literally every Jund land, but no Simic land. Using the Last Ride here. Last Ride is interesting. Literally at this point I'm just like losing my will to live here because this is insane. I cast Valky just to check their hand and just to be like, okay game, I have nothing else to cast, you can now give me my other colours. So, tentative connection, they go for that. I'm just going to Helix the Valky for the sake of it. Just gain free life and stop them doing that so they can't crew any of their things. So this turned out to be a pseudo combo deck. I think they're trying to make a ton of treasures and make a massive one swing out of nowhere creature. Kind of like a Death Shadow effect. Infernal Grasp kills Yorion. Last Ride draws them some more cards. More lands. Last Ride again. They are low enough now that the Last Ride is actually a creature. We finally draw a green land, which can help us with the biotech here. But we have no interaction, so if they find whatever they're doing here, okay, they just discard a card to draw more cards. At this point, I am truly convinced they're after some kind of combo line that I just cannot see. Electronic Revelation. Basically, ooh, Ancient Cornucopia is good. So Ancient Cornucopia, we can start gaining life. We'll use the biotech here. Gain some more life. We can crack the lander now to get to another land drop. So we have green and blue on a separate land in case they have some kind of a braid effect. This is me still trying to figure out what the heck they're doing here. There's a Magda. So seeing Magda, I realized this must be a treasure producing deck. And then I noticed Gold Rush pumps based on the number of treasure you have. Magda makes treasures. And their other Soul Ripper can sack artifacts to pump it up. So what I think this is a pseudo one-shot effect. So they tap this to make treasure. Can swing in, sack an artifact to give it menace. I would say sacrifice the Last Ride here. Yep. So it becomes a 5/4 with menace. Can't block it. Now they gold rush it, making a treasure, pumping it up to 9. So I think their deck stumbled here, but I think what this deck is trying to do is just make a ton of treasures and use that gold rush effect to basically turn a evasive creature into a one-shot kill. It's an interesting idea. I've not seen it go off very much. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Ancient Cornucopia with a Ancient Cornucopia on the line here. Niv is definitely our right call. So, you know what time it is. I'm hovering on the button. Reload finds us. Counterspell. Oof, not a great deal here. We know that they're a pump deck, so they could very easily make a huge creature out of nowhere. So, removing it with a Lightning Helix seems implausible. They've got enough mana because of our stumbles that the No More Lies probably won't do anything here. What I am scared of is that Treasure Vault. I do feel like that could make a billion treasures very easily. Yep, there's the Treasure Vault, making a ton of treasures. Now, if they swing in, give it Menace, sack a treasure, they could very... They also have a Magda activation. Yeah, what are they going to tutor with Magda? Okay. Zatara, the Incinerator, another creature that makes treasure. Like, this is a Jund treasure list, and it fascinates me. I still am struggling to figure it out. So, with this in mind, I am going to Lightning Helix the Magda here, because they want to give the Soul Ripper Menace. They have to sack one of their treasures. I'm not going to block here, because they can sack that to do 6 damage to Niv, which is fine. So, looking at the options I have here, I decide I'm going to go for a full Deceit. By manually tapping with Cavero, I can use double blue and double black to cast him to get a full activation of Deceit here. With a full spread of Bring to Light, it's just more valuable to do this. Check their hand. They have Reanimation. So I'm going to take another vehicle out here. And then I'm going to play another Biotech, which will give me another artifact. It's also just, if anyone like is playing this deck, play Biotech. Like, you've sacked so many treasures this game. If you had found a single Biotech, that would be game over. Like, I was tempted to like try and recreate this Jund treasure list with Biotech. Cauldron's Gift, Mills, Meathook Massacre, Fiend Artisan. There's a ton of stuff here. There's Magda. So they're going to do 3 damage here with the Zetopia. Okay, let's see what they do. Nope. 3 damage on the Biotech, so let's pop the Lander token. That will deal 4 damage to the opponent. Puts him down to 3, get a land. And then now in range, now that a Bring to Light to Lightning Helix will take them out, so let's go for that line. We know they're 1 card in hand, we don't know their Foretold card. So let's just grab our Lightning Helix and do direct damage to finish them off. Cool brew. I just could not figure it out at the time. I'm like, okay, so this must be a treasure. So they have Reanimation, so Ashiok's a good shout. Looking at the rest of the... I'm going to take out the Unborn Ego because I've got no idea what the best choice is. No More Lies, they're a treasure deck, so they make a ton of extra mana, so I don't think No More Lies is going to be a got you. Well, No More Lies would be a got you at the specific start of the game. If we go to middle late game, that's a no-go. So it is a very interesting build of treasure here. I do feel that it's quite interesting, but I feel that the way they've gone for it's a little off. They've gone for a more pseudo pump end it. You saw there with their vehicles using Magda. It's truly a fascinating build, so let's move to game 2 and see if we can see more of it. This hand is unacceptable, and this is an all land, but we have our colors. We have a Deceit on 2. I'm going to get rid of the shock land here. Alright, I'm going to go for the Fortsies as early as possible here. So we're going to go with a double Deceit. What's better than deceiving? Double deceiving. Right. This is a strange artisan, so let's Fortseize. Look at the opponent here. We're going to take away the Fiend Artisan because it's a very powerful tutor. They can reanimate it with the... oh, they just Fortseize glitch, draw another one, of course. Right, so let's play land tapped. We'll double Deceit here because we're going to want to get rid of the Death Dwellers. They don't have double red here, so they can't cast something. That might be the spell they foretold previously. So maybe they're looking to double cast Gold Rush, make a ton of power, and take an opponent out. Right, they don't attack with Fiend Artisan, but I think they might be new here because Fiend Artisan is sorcery only. So I'm just going to Helix it in the end step. And we'll see what they do on their turn. Foretell the Asgard card, and we top deck a Bring to Light, which is a perfect option here. So we know for a full reload, let's get more options in our hand. Reload. A third Deceit, another Lightning Helix, and a K command to return anything they manage to kill here. That's a pretty good sound option here. I will block with Niv. What do you have to take this out? You have to have a big pump spot. Nope, they take it. They didn't have green mana. Unfortunate. Good games. Cool deck. Match here against Nicholas Griffuser, and this is a very short recording, so I'm pretty sure I know what this is. Alright, so we're keeping a hand with a Helix opener. There's a favorite Hoplite, so this is like a Boros aggro deck. So Helix into Ancient Cornucopia here is the most perfect start we could expect. Waiting for our opponent's turn. They play a Luminart Veroso. That 100% has to die. Double Strike Connive, which gives them card selection and pumps very easily. There's a Hexing Squelcher. That's fine. That's a interesting inclusion. I suppose it's more there for the your spells can't be countered. No, it's probably more there for the ward, pay 2 life. Double Hexing Sculpture is crazy. So, based on what deck this is, I do feel that we're better here going for a board wipe. So we'll grab the Supreme Verdict, use that to take out all the Squelchers. They plot a Slick Shot so off, so let's play a land here. We're just going to pass back. We have double Cycle lands here to potentially do something crazy, so Cycle finds us another Bring to Light. I'm okay with that. There's a third Hexing Squelcher, which is crazy. Another Ancient Cornucopia is very good for us. Alright, so Bring to Light. I think now we have to go over reload, gain 5 life, and that should stabilize us. Reload! Ooh, a bit rough there, but hard removal's good. Deceit's also good. Okay, here comes the Ancestral Angers. Defiant Strikes. Nothing is giving first strike here though, so I will 100% trade. I have a Kolaghan's Command to get back the Niv Mizzet. So I'm expecting a double strike effect here or a first strike effect. No, okay, interesting. And they can see. Very interesting line there. Why? Very strange. Just that confused me. Alright, Battle for the Bridges comes in, Fatal Pushes, we need to deal with that. Cosmic Rebirth's a bit slow, so we'll take that out and we'll run it back like this. Okay, let's see what happens here in this second match. Alright. Bit rougher on a slow start here, but we'll keep this hand of 6. Put a land back. And opponent just concedes. I have no idea. I guess they just gave up. Game 3 here against Hungry Roy. Well, interesting concept. Alright, this hand is missing blue, but we'll risk it here. We can cast Okay, there's a turn 1 Fortseize, so Fortseizing a Cavero here would be interesting. Obviously, if they look at our hand and realize we don't... Yeah, they take Cavero. Interesting choice. We can cast a K command now, at least, so we'll just hold back and hold on for blue here. 3 mana into Fable. Alright, let's... I'm going to force them to discard to lower their card quality and take out the token. Playing a land. Just going to pass it back here. We desperately need blue mana as quickly as possible here. There's a Shieldred the Apocalypse. Can't say that's a shock. Alright, no blue mana, so we'll use hard removal here to make sure Shieldred doesn't come back. Play another land, pass back. There's the Unholy Annex, as expected. Activating the Mutavault. I'm just going to grab back this Cavero and gain free life to stabilize. There's blue. Straight into our Bring to Light. You know what we have to do here with nothing on hand. Let's cast our boy. Oh, a bit of a rough reload there. We do have removal for the Annex. There's a fear of missing out, so they're going to loot. Second Mutavault. Go for the throat, takes out Niv. Duress takes out the Maelstrom Pulse. Very unfortunate. They draw a card, lose 2 life. Shock in. We can use our Cavero here and have him enter as a copy of Nimizit for a second reload. I'm going to take the Clarion and the Vanishing Verse here. Vanishing Verse 100%. So Clarion first, take out their creatures. We don't want them to have the ability to activate the effects of... Oh, they just make a 6/6 demon. Alright, I'm going to Bring to Light here. Grab a Valky. I'm then going to Vanishing Verse the room so they don't draw any more cards. Down tick to take out the 6/6 here. I'm doing this because it's going to force them to use the Mutavaults to take out Niv. Oh, or they could just do this and let Tybalt survive. Interesting. So let's plus. A lot of lands, so let's Maelstrom Pulse so they don't have any more card advantage. Let's play a Biotech Specialist. Play another Biotech Specialist. We're just going to come up the board here with blockers. Swing in. There's one Fatal Push. So if they have removal spell, double Mutavault activation, yep, they can still take out Tibet. Alright. Pull this down. So let's Wandering Mind. Dig for some more cards. I'll take the Ancient Cornucopia. It will stabilize me against anything crazy. I'm going to play the land from my hand here. Swing in for 4. We have enough to go for a full Yorion here. Also, we can double crack our Mutavaults. Okay, just activating all their Mutavaults here. Swing in for 6. On their end step, let's crack both of these landers, thin out the deck. Get our last 2 basics. Right, okay, play a land. We're going to activate, go to combat, swing for 6. Play the Yorion here. Gain 2 life. Blink our board. Now the interesting thing is, I don't think they realized that Cavero had exiled the Niv there, because they conceded too early. We could not create another Niv Mizzet, so I don't know. Right, Unmoored Ego is going to come out. And a lot of other things feel okay here. Honestly, I think I'll take out 1 Deceit and then push it back that way. Just to bring in the wear and tears. We want to answer the Annex if we can. But my god, okay, so I'm just going to say it straight up. This game was brutal. So, we're going to open with a Deceit. We're going to check their hand. I see the hand, I'm like, okay, 100%. I'm going to take out this Unholy Annex because I don't want them to draw cards. Fortse's Glitch gives them the second Unholy Annex. I'm like, okay. I guess then I'm just going to have to play this Ancient Cornucopia and pass it back. There's a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. So bear in mind, they've had 2 Unholy Annexes right now. So, in response to that, I'm going to... Cavero, and I'm going to use Cavero here as a double Deceit trigger. I'm going to bounce their room, and then I'm going to take the Invoke Despair so they can't do that full trigger. Play a land here. Gix's Command makes their board huge. I thought Gix's was a full board wipe, if I'm honest. They go for the Duress here. Alright, with that in mind, let's use Supreme here to gain 5 life. Play a land tapped. Reflections is online. We cannot let them get a Blood Tithe activation with Kiki's Reflections here. It will be ridiculous. So here comes a Shieldred, so before we draw, I am going to jumpstart to take that out because I want to preserve my life total as much as possible here. I'm going to then Tyrant Scorn, take out the Blood Tithe because it's the bigger threat at the moment. We can jumpstart that with using the Valky if we have to. Hold back, see what our opponent goes for. There's their Annex. There's a Blade of the Oni, so we're going to have to probably take that out so they don't have any way. They'll still be taking damage. I'm going to do this after combat so they can't do like a pseudo make reflection stuff. So take out the Blade, they draw a card. Vanishing Verse, take out the room. Put Yorion into hand. I am going to put pressure on him here, put him down to 14. There's a Mutavault, but I mean, I was sure they didn't draw the 3rd Annex. Oh no, just a 2nd Shieldred. And a 3rd Annex. So that's me checking how many Annexes they've drawn in the top 10 cards of their library. And me just basically being like, okay game, I get it. I am probably not meant to play this game. So, I'm going to attack in here. No, I'm going to hold back. They activate the Shieldred. They go for the Fortseas, which is honestly perfect. Like, they could not have drawn out better. This, I'm sure it's not, but this did very much feel like one of those games where it's very clear that you're, it feels like you're going to give it the opponent. So, we're going to Vanishing Verse here. Gain life. We're going to block the Mutavault. Puts us down to 5. They have another Fable of the Mirror Breaker here. Go to our turn. Ultimately, I'm looking at my options. I'm like, pretty rough here. I'm going to swing in. Hit him down to 7. Pass back. They didn't activate, which is scary, because they drew a perfect Mutavault to literally do us almost exact C damage. Unless... So, Mutavault here. Cavero, bit greedy, should have grabbed the Valky just to have another blocker to trade. And they drew the 3rd Shieldred, so... In the top 20 cards, there was triple Shieldred, triple Mutavault, triple Unholy Annex. Yeah, some games you're just not meant to win. Gonna run it back here, because, like I said, I threw the last turn there playing a bit too greedy. If I had took 2 less damage, I could have survived. But like I said, it's very much one of those games where you definitely feel like the arena shuffler is like, ooh, based on his patterns, if he doesn't get a win now, he's going to quit and not buy a pack. So let's make sure he gets a win. Alright, so slow hand. No opening Fortsies is pretty nice. I'm going to hold up the No More Lies here. So there's a Blood Tithe. No More Lies it. We're going to keep their board as clear as possible. Playing on the land tapped. Holding up this Vanishing Verse. Going to Vanishing Verse the Fear. We're just literally going to churn every creature they play out. Alright, land tapped. Hold back. Fourth land goes into a go blank. Let's discard 2 cards, hold up a Niv Reborn. Alright, nothing there, so we're going to have to hold up this No More Lies. They find their 5th land. No More Lies on the Liliana. We're not going to lose any more cards here. They've kept a very high disruptive hand here. I'm going to add Urion to hand just to give insulation against more discard effects. There's their Annex. There's a Mutavault hitting us down. There's our 5th land, so you know what time it is.
Reload.
Perfect. Vanishing Verse for the Annex. Deceit for other stuff. They're going to take an artifact or creature from my hand. That's fine. They take the other Niv Mizzet. Infernal Grasp. Hit us down to 12. I'm going to start with an Vanishing Verse, get rid of their thing. And then I'm going to double black here to do a Deceit Fortsies to get rid of whatever other card they have in case they've drawn their 14th Annex. We'll take away the Reflections. The Extinction event doesn't bother me. Now I know what their removal in hand is. I'm going to instead go for a different line. With the 5 mana available here, I'm actually going to grab Tybalt, because if I don't think they have hard Planeswalker removal currently, so their best option here is to use their Mutavault to hit Tybalt. And I look at that and I'm like, of course they were going to draw another Annex. When you look at it and you're like, oh my god, seriously? They hit us down to 6 here. We're going to plus Tybalt again. We find a Supreme and a land. And realize, yeah, opponent just concedes. They let Tybalt ultimate. Good game. So remember at the start of the video when I said about a feed match? This is the reverse. I am the bottom of gold here. Like, I think I'm gold 4. And my opponent here is literally 8 ranks above me, having a rank up match to the diamond level. And he's been slammed against me. So I'm just looking at this and I'm like, now I'm sure it's not the way, but it does seem suspicious to me. One of the things I've said before is, if this was to happen in a game like Street Fighter or a fighting game, I would literally be on like social media calling out the developers. Because when you look at it and you're like, huh. Because I think it's more the fact that I've seen effects like this in fighting games where if you want to rank, for example, from bronze to silver, when you're going for that rank up, you will, as the bronze player, be fighting the silver players at the bottom. And the idea is, because there's obviously the ability to drop ranks and gain ranks, is you will be fighting for a slot in the silver by fighting someone at the bottom of silver to say, are you good enough to get to that level? So it's one of these things where I'm just like, this is so weird to me. And I don't suspect that it's done deliberately, because obviously they'd have to have insane matchup knowledge and other crazy stuff. But it is kind of hard to argue against it when literally, like, for example, if this guy was the top of gold, I'd be like, okay, I'm getting matched against a gold player in the top ranked. But it is very hard for me to even justify this when I'm looking at this and going, huh. My opponent literally has 8 ranks above me. Enough rant over, let's go back to the game. It's basic mono red here, so you can guess what's going to happen. It's their rank up game. So playing a land back. We have 9 life here. They activate the vault, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to sideboard seriously, but genuinely, one of the reasons why I highlight this is I saw, like, this isn't my personal idea. I saw this posted on Reddit like a year ago, and it stuck with me since I saw it. And the more, because it's kind of demoralizing when you see this, when it's like, oh yeah, literally, I'm just here to give this guy the rank up. And I know you could argue that I want to give them a good match, but I believe that post actually said that the correct thing to do when you see this happen is just give him the rank up. Alright, Faces of Kuzmano. We're going to set up for a Lightning Helix here because that's a big definite life gain. Second Faces of Kumano. Third Faces of Kumano. So 3 1-drops, burn deck. Yeah. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to say this. Just watch the sequence in this game and think if it's not weird. So, there's a Etchings of Kumano. There's a Screaming Nemesis going to come in as a 5/5. So, we're just going to get rid of that. Going to play a land. Vanishing versus Screaming Nemesis. On their turn, the faces flipped into 2 summons. Puts us down to 11. Playing a land here, going to bring to light here. And I'm actually going to grab Supreme because this is a monocolored deck. And I know straight up, apart from like... One of the things I know is that they run Reckless Rage. So I want this and I want to buy back the Helix very importantly. Activating Den of the Bugbear. Full swing in. Block the 3/2 to take out the land. Go down to 6. We've only got 1 white source here, so we can't do both. So first things first, let's Lightning Helix that. Play our land, tapped, and just hold up mana. They don't attack in, so they clearly don't have the ways to deal with this. We're on 9 life, so I think our best bet here is Wandering Mind, because Wandering Mind could find the Ancient Cornucopia. Does not, but a Cosmic Rebirth is pretty good here. So my line of thinking is, if I jumpstart a card using the Sparta's headquarters, I can then have a target for Cosmic Rebirth to gain more life. I'm going to target them, because if they have a way to kill their own creature with burn spells, I don't gain the life. And right now, stabilizing with a higher and higher life total is more important. I'm going to swing with Wandering Mind here. Niv is like a perfect roadblock. Red cap melee, so yeah, they brought in actual effects to do damage. That's fine. Passes to opponent's turn. There's a Soul Scar Mage. No attacks in. We're going to take out the Etchings here. We're literally going to stay on course and use... I don't want to jumpstart the Bring to Light until I have the mana to do another spell. I'm going to swing in with Niv first. Pass back. I have enough here to survive, I think, pretty much anything. So first I'm going to jumpstart Soul Scar Mage with a Molten Collapse, because that's the prowess trigger. We'll take a single point of damage here. On their turn, right, that's perfect. So, using that, I'm going to bring to light. I'm checking the lands here, and then I realize that I don't have a second white still. So I'm actually going to go for a non-5 color, because I want to hold up. So this is where I nearly throw the game. I get so locked into doing a 4 color bring to light, I realize that I'm not going to draw cards from this. And then I realized that my best option is literally Kavero, the Mindbender. And then I forget that Etchings was on the battlefield. So I'm just going to take a Soul Scar Mage as a 4/4. That will at least give us some options. Turns out they just have another red cap melee, so... Right, they pass back. I'm going to swing in with I'm not going to swing in, sorry. Right, pass back. I think the best bet here is jumpstart them. Oh, I'm playing so cautious here. Swinging in. Puts him down to 7. Ramadamp Ruins puts us down to 9. They swing in. Put us down to 8. There's a Niv, way too late, so we're not going to bother with that. Swinging in with Supreme. We have the Helix to kill them here, so we're going to use that. Helix. Discarding a Hallowed Fountain. In response, they Burst Lightning, and then Burst Lightning again to just show us that they had us dead to rights if we didn't do it on that turn. Which was pretty lucky for us. We're just going to run it back there. I feel like they threw there. I feel like if they played way more aggressively, like swung in, got incremental bits or little bits of damage, they would have survived and took us out. Alright, so let's see what abysmal mulligans we get for the third game. Super slow, no red mana. We'll keep it just for the heck of it. Play land tapped. And here's triple 1-drops. Play land tapped, pass back. There's an Emberheart Challenger. I will fatal push that because that's card advantage. We get hit for free. Don't draw a land. Just going to Tyrant Scorn, kill one of their creatures. This is just me picking out the dailies because at this point I'm like, sure, you gave them 4 1-drops to 5 1-drops to kill us, so I can accept when I'm being fed. And I know that's like negative to say that, but it does feel like that. I think it's one of these things where I've noticed the pattern now. So now I'm just like, yeah, I can't do anything. So this game is pretty much over. They also have the Lynx Cat to do the final damage to us. We don't draw anything relevant and get to cast any spells. Literally, I'm just going to use Deceit here to just check their hand, see if there's anything I want to get rid of. But in the counter to it, they just have a Burst Lightning. So just for fun, let's use this Normal Eyes to just take off 2 damage. Literally proving that they had us dead to rights next turn. There was their 5th 1-drop. So at this point it's like, yeah, okay guys, 100% get it. There's a land. We'll play this land and basically, so here's the deal. We can bring to light wipe the board, but we are still missing red mana, so we never got to cast any healing spell. Game's over. Good game. We fed him up to his next rank. Well done, Arena. He's going to want to keep playing. But the players that you feed to people aren't going to want to. So, kind of, I'm an R there, Arena. I'm an R.